Right, question 5 is quite difficult. It says, write this thing here, 16 to the power of 3 divided by 4 to the power of 0.5, in the form 2 to the power of n. So we want our final answer to be 2 to the power of something. Well, a good idea would be to try and start writing some of these numbers as powers of 2. So for example, 16, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 makes 16. So 16 is the same as 2 to the power of 4. And then don't forget that power of 3 that was there already. So 16 to the power of 3 is the same as 2 to the power of 4 to the power of 3. And then at the bottom, 2 is the same as, 2 squared is the same as 4. So instead of writing 4, we can write 2 squared. And don't forget that that's to the power of 0.5. So instead of 4 to the power of 0.5, 2 squared to the power of 0.5. It's the same thing, but we've started to write things with powers of 2, which will help us with the final answer. Right, so we've got 2 to the power of 4 on the top, all of that to the power of 3, and the rule for that is multiply the powers. So 2 to the power of 4, all of that to the power of 3 makes 2 to the power of 12. And then we've got the same thing on the bottom, multiply the powers, 2 to the power of 2, all to the power of 0.5, multiply 2 by 0.5 to give you 1. So the bottom bit is 2 to the power of 1. And remember the rule when we divide, 2 to the power of 12 divided by 2 to the power of 1, you subtract the powers, so 12 minus 1 is 11, so it's 2 to the power of 11. So there we have it. We've written it in the form 2 to the power of n. We've written it as 2 to the power of something. Right, question 5b. Simplify 2/3 to the power of minus 1. Well, 2/3 to the power of minus 1 means the same as 1 over 2/3 to the power of plus 1. So that's just the same as 1 over 2/3. Multiply top and bottom by 3, and you can see that that's the same as 3 over 2. So 2/3 to the power of minus 1 is the same as 3 over 2. And generally speaking, because minus powers mean 1 over, and power of 1 just means times itself, you can say for anything, if it's a power of minus 1, it flips the fraction over. So for example, 9 to the power of minus 1 is a ninth. 5 to the power of minus 1 is a fifth. And 2/3 to the power of minus 1, you can just recognize that power of minus 1 flips it over, so it's 3 over 2. Right, next question. 1000 to the power of minus 2/3. Remember that minus power means 1 over positive power, so that's the same as 1 over 1000 to the 2/3. And we can break the 2/3 down into a third times 2. So that's the same as 1 over 1000 to the power of a third squared. 1000 to the power of a third means the cube root of 1000. And the cube root of 1000 is 10, because 10 times 10 times 10 makes 1000. So that all comes to 1 over 10 squared, or 1 over 100. It says give your answer as a fraction, so leave it as 1 over 100 and not 0.01. Okay, question 6. Work out 56 to the power of 1 minus 56 to the power of 0. Anything to the power of 1 just means the number itself. And anything to the power of 0 just means 1. So 56 to the power of 1 minus 56 to the power of 0 is 56 minus 1, which is 55. And well, the sort of mistake you might make, you might think that you had to subtract the powers, but that's only when you're dividing two powers of the same thing. Okay, 27 to the power of a third means the same as the cube root of 27, and the cube root of 27 is 3, because 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. The question actually asks, it gives you that and says explain why 27 to the power of a third equals 3. Well, it would be enough just to write this intermediate stage down where you show that you know that power of a third means cube root. So that would be fine just as I've written it there. And then the second bit of the question, it says write 27 to the power of minus a third as a fraction. So just get a new piece of paper here. 27 to the power of minus a third means 1 over 27 to the power of plus a third. And you've already worked out in the last bit of the question, or in fact even if you didn't work it out, they told you that 27 to the power of a third is 3, so that's the same as 1 over 3. You don't need to show the working for this again that you just did in the previous bit of the question. And in fact, even if you didn't get the first bit of the question, you could use the fact that they gave you the answer to get the second bit.